camps ahead of him to Esau, his brother, toward the land of Seir, the country of Edom, with these instructions. Here is what you are to say to my lord Esau. Your servant Jacob says, I've been living with Laban and have stayed until now. I have cattle, donkeys, and flocks, and male and female servants. I am sending to tell this news to my lord in order to win your favor. The messengers returned to Yaakov, saying, we went to your brother Esau, and he's coming to meet you. With him are 400 men. Yaakov became greatly afraid and distressed. He divided the people, flocks, cattle, and camels with him into 2 camps, saying, if Esau comes to the one camp and attacks it, at least the camp that is left will escape. Then Yaakov said, God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Yitzhak, Adonai, who told me, return to your country and your kinsmen, and I will do you good. I'm not worthy of all the love and faithfulness you have shown your servant, since I crossed the Jordan with only my staff. But now I have become 2 camps. Please rescue me from my brother Esau. I'm afraid of him, afraid he'll come and attack me without regard for the mothers or children. You said I will certainly do you good and make your descendants as numerous as the grains of sand by the sea, which are so many they can't be counted. He stayed there that night. Then he chose from among his possessions the following as a present for Esau, his brother: 200 female goats and 20 males, 200 female sheep and 20 males, 30 milk camels and their colts, 40 cows and 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys and 10 colts. He turned them over to his servants. Every drove by itself, and said to his servants, cross over in front of me and keep a space between each drove and the next one. He instructed the servants in front. When Esau, my brother, meets you and asks you, whose servants are you? Where are you going? And whose animals are these? Then you are to say, they belong to your servant Yaakov, and they are a present he has sent to my lord Esau. And Yaakov himself is just behind us. He also instructed the second servant and the third, and all that followed the droves. When you encounter Esau, you are to speak to him in the same way, and you are to add, and there, just behind us, is your servant Esau. For he said, I will appease him first with the present that goes ahead of me. Then after that, I will see him myself, and maybe he will be friendly toward me. So the present crossed over ahead of him, and he himself stayed that night in the camp. He got up that night, took his 2 wives, his 2 slave girls, and his 11 children, and forded the Yabbrook. He took them and sent them across the stream, then sent his possessions across. And Yaakov was left alone. Then some man wrestled with him until daybreak. When he saw that he did not defeat Yaakov, he struck Yaakov's hip socket so that his hip was dislocated while wrestling with him. The man said, let me go, because it's daybreak. But Yaakov replied, I won't let you go unless you bless me. Then the man asked, what is your name? And he answered, Yaakov. Then the man said, from now on you will no longer be called Yaakov, but Israel, because you have shown your strength to both God and men and have prevailed. Yaakov asked him, please tell me your name. But he answered, why are you asking about my name? And he blessed him there. Yaakov called the place Peniel, because I have seen God's face to face, yet my life is spared. As the sun rose upon him, he went on past Peniel, limping at the hip. This is why to this day the people of Israel do not eat the thigh muscle that passes along the hip socket, because the man struck Yaakov's hip at its socket. Yaakov raised his eyes and looked out, and there was Esau coming, and 400 men with him. So Yaakov divided the children between Leah, Rachel, and the 2 slave girls, putting the slave girls and their children first, Leah and her children second, and Rachel and Joseph last. Then he himself passed on ahead of them and prostrated himself on the ground 7 times before approaching his brother. Esau ran to meet him, hugged him, threw his arms around his neck, and kissed him, and they wept. Esau looked up. On seeing the women and children, he asked, "Whose are these with you?" Yaakov answered, "The children God has graciously given to your servant." Then the slave girls approached with their children, and they prostrated themselves. Leah, too, and her children approached and prostrated themselves. And last came Joseph and Rachel, and they prostrated themselves. Esau asked, "What is the meaning of this procession of droves I encountered?" And he answered, "It was to win my Lord's favor." Esau replied, "I have plenty already. My brother, keep your possessions for yourself." Yaakov said, "No, please. If now I have found your favor, then accept my gift. Just seeing your face has been like seeing the face of God, now that you have received me. So please accept the gift I have brought you. For God has dealt kindly with me, and I have enough." Thus he urged him until he accepted it. Esau said, "Let's break camp and get going. I'll go first." Yaakov said to him, "My Lord knows the children are small, and the sheep and cattle suckling their young concerns me, because if they overdrive them even by one day, all the flocks will die. Instead, please let my Lord go on ahead of his servant. I will travel more slowly at the pace of the cattle ahead of me and at the pace of the children until I come to my Lord in Seir." Esau replied, "Then let me leave with you some of the people I have with me." But Yaakov said, "There's no need for my Lord to be so kind to me." So Esau left that day to return to Seir. Yaakov went on to Sukkot, where he built himself a house and put up shelters for his cattle. This is why the place is called Sukkot. Having traveled from Padan Aram, Yaakov arrived safely at the city of Shechem in Canaan and set up camp near the city. From the sons of Hamor, Shechem's father, he bought for 100 pieces of silver the parcel of land where he pitched his tent. There he put up an altar, which he called El Elohai Yisrael. One time, Dinah, the daughter of Leah, whom she had borne to Yaakov, went out to visit the local girls. And Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivi, the local ruler, saw her, grabbed her, raped her, and humiliated her. But actually, he was strongly attracted to Dinah, the daughter of Yaakov. He fell in love with the girl and tried to win her affection. Shechem spoke with his father Hamor and said, "Get this girl from me. I want her to be my wife." Then when Yaakov heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter, his sons were with his livestock in the field. So Yaakov restrained himself until they came. Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out to Yaakov to speak with him, just as Yaakov's sons were coming in from the field. When they heard what had happened, the men were saddened and were very angry at the outrage this man had committed against Israel by raping Yaakov's daughter, something that is simply not done. But Hamor said to them, "My son Shechem's heart is set on your daughter. Please give her to him as his wife and intermarry with us. Give your daughters to us and take our daughters for yourself. You will live with us, and the land will be available to you. You'll live, do business, and acquire possessions here." Then Shechem said to her father and brothers, "Only accept me, and I will give whatever you tell me. Ask as large a bride price as you like. I'll pay whatever you tell me. Just let me marry the girl." The sons of Yaakov answered Shechem and Hamor, his father, deceitfully, because he had defiled Dinah, their daughter. They said to them, "We can't do it because it would be a disgrace to give our sister to someone who hasn't been circumcised. Only on this condition will we consent to do what you are asking, that you become like us by having every male among you get circumcised. Then we'll give you our daughters to you, and we will take your daughters for ourselves, and we'll live with you and become one people. But if you won't do as we say and get circumcised, then we'll take our daughter and go away." What they said seemed fair to Hamor and Shechem, the son of Hamor. And the young man did not put off doing what was asked of him, even though he was the most respected member of his father's family, because he so much wanted Yaakov's daughter. Hamor and Shechem, his son, came to the entrance of their city and spoke with its leading men. These people are peaceable toward us. Therefore, let them live in the land and do business in it. For, as you can see, the land is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters as wives for ourselves, and we'll give them our daughters. But the people will consent to live with us and become one people only on this condition, that every male among us gets circumcised, as they themselves are circumcised. Won't their cattle, their possessions, and all their animals be ours? Only let's consent to do what they ask, and then they will live with us. Everyone going out of the city gates listened to Hamor and Shechem, his son. So every male was circumcised, everyone that went out the gate of the city. On the third day after the circumcision, when they were in pain, two of Yaakov's sons, Shimon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, took their swords, boldly descended on the city, and slaughtered all the males. They killed Hamor and Shechem, his son, with their swords, took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and left. Then the sons of Yaakov entered over the dead bodies of those who had been slaughtered and plundered the city in reprisal for defiling their sister. They took their flocks, cattle, and donkeys, and everything else, whether in the city or in the field. Everything they owned, their children and wives they took captive, and they looted whatever was in the houses. But Yaakov said to Shimon and Levi, "You have caused me trouble by making me stink in the opinions of the local inhabitants, the Canaanite and the Perizzi. Since I don't have many people, they'll align themselves together against me and attack me, and I'll be destroyed, I and my household." They replied, "Should we let our sister be treated like a whore?" God said to Yaakov, Get up, go up to Bet-El and live there, and make there an altar to God, who appeared to you when you fled Esau your brother." Then Yaakov said to his household and all the others with him, "Get rid of the foreign gods that you have with you. Purify yourselves and put on fresh clothes. We're going to move on and go up to Bet-El. There I will build an altar to God, who answered me when I was in such distress and stayed with me wherever I went." They gave Yaakov all the foreign gods in their possession and the earrings they were wearing, and Yaakov buried them under a pistachio tree near Shechem. While they were traveling, a terror from God fell upon the cities around them, so that none of them pursued the sons of Yaakov. Yaakov and all the people with him arrived at Luz in the land of Canaan. He built there an altar and called the place El Bet-El, because it was there that God was revealed to him at the time when he was fleeing from his brother. Then Devorah, Rivka's nurse, died. She was buried below Bet-El under the oak, which was given the name Alon Bakhut. After Yaakov arrived from Padan Aram, God appeared to him again and blessed him. God said to him, "Your name is Yaakov, but you will be called Yaakov no longer. Your name will be Israel." Thus he named him Israel. God further said to him, "I am El Shaddai. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation, indeed a group of nations, will come from you. Kings will be descended from you. Moreover, the land which I gave to Abraham and Yitzhak, I will give to you, and I will give the land to your descendants after you." Then God went up from him there where he had spoken with him. Yaakov set up a standing stone in the place where he had spoken with him, a stone pillar. Then he poured out a drink offering on it and poured oil on it. Yaakov called the place where God spoke with him Bet-El. And they traveled on from Bet-El, and while there was still some distance to go before arriving at Ephrat, Rachel went into labor, and she had great difficulty with it. While she was undergoing this hard labor, the midwife said to her, "Don't worry, this is also a son for you." But she died in childbirth. As she was dying, she named her son Ben-Oni, but his father called him Benjamin. So Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrat. Yaakov set up a standing stone on her grave. It is the standing stone of Rachel's grave to this day. Israel continued his travels and pitched his tent on the other side of Migdal Eder. It was while Israel was living in the land that Reuben went and slept with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard about it. Yaakov had 12 sons. The sons of Leah were Reuben, Yaakov's firstborn, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Yissachar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel were Joseph and Benjamin. The sons of Bilhah, Rachel's slave girl, were Dan and Naphtali. The sons of Zilpah, Leah's slave girl, were Gad and Asher. These were Yaakov's sons, born to him in Padan Aram. Yaakov came home to his father Yitzhak in Mamre, near Kiryat Arba, where Abraham and Yitzhak had lived as foreigners. Yitzhak lived to be 180 years old. Then he breathed his last, died, and was gathered to his people, an old man full of years. And his son Esau and Yaakov buried him. This is the genealogy of Esau. Esau chose Canaanite women as his wives. Ada, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zephon the Hivi, Basmat, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Navayot. Ada bore to Esau, Eliphaz, Basmath bore Reuel, and Oholibamah bore Yeush, Yalam, and Korash. These were the sons of Esau, born to him in the land of Canaan. Esau took his wives, his sons and daughters, the others in his household, his cattle and other animals, and everything else he owned, which he had acquired in the land of Canaan, and went off to a country distant from his brother Yaakov. For their possessions had become too great for them to live together, and the countryside through which they were traveling couldn't support so much livestock. So Esau lived in the hill country of Seir. This is the genealogy of Esau, the father of Edom, in the hill country of Seir. The names of Esau's sons were Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau, and Reuel, the son of Basemath, the wife of Esau. The sons of Eliphaz were Timman, Omar, Zipho, Gatam, and Kenaz. Timnah was the concubine of Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bore to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the descendants of Adah, Esau's wife. The sons of Reuel were Nahat, Zerash, Shammah, and Mizah. These were the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. These were the sons of Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zephon, Esau's wife. She bore to Esau Yeush, Yalam, and Korash. The chieftains of the sons of Esau were the sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn of Esau, and the chieftains of Timnah, Omar, Zipho, Kenaz, Korash, Gatam, and Amalek. These were the chieftains, descendants from Eliphaz in Edom, and from Adah. The sons of Reuel, Esau's son, were the chieftains of Nahat, Zerash, Shammah, and Mizah. These were the chieftains, descendants from Reuel in the land of Eden, and from Basemath, Esau's wife. The sons of Oholibamah, Esau's wife, were the chieftains of Yeush, Yalam, and Korash. These were the chieftains, descendants from Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah, Esau's wife. These were the descendants of Esau, and these were the chieftains. These were the descendants of Seir, the Hori, the local inhabitants, Lotan, Shoval, Zavon, Anah, Dishan, Etzer, and Dishan. These were the chieftains, descendants from the Hori, the people of Seir in the land of Eden. The sons of Lotan were Hori and Heman. Lotan's sister was Timnah. The sons of Shavol were Alvan, Manachat, Eval, Shapho, and Onan. The sons of Zephon were Ayah and Anah. This is the Anah who found hot springs in the desert while pasturing his father's Zephon's donkeys. The children of Anah were Dishon and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah. The sons of Dishon were Himdan, Ishban, Yitran, and Karan. The sons of Itzur were Bilhah, Ze'aphon, and Akan. The sons of Dishan were Uts and Aran. These were the chieftains, descendants from the Hori, the chieftains of Lotan, Shavol, Zephon, Anah, Dishan, Etzur, and Dishan. These were the chieftains, descendants from the Hori by their clans in Seir. Following are the kings who reigned in the land of Eden before any king had reigned over the people of Israel. Bela, the son of Beor, reigned in Eden. The name of his city was Dinhava. When Bela died, Yovah, the son of Thirach from Botzrah, reigned in his place. When Yaakov died, Husham, from the land of Timani, reigned in his place. When Husham died, Hadad, the son of Bedad, who killed Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his place. The name of his city was Avit. When Hadad died, Shamlah of Marikah reigned in his place. When Shamlah died, Shaul of Rehovot by the river reigned in his place. When Shaul died, Baal-Kanan, the son of Akbor, reigned in his place. When Baal-Kanan died, Hadar reigned in his place. The name of his city was Pau, and his wife's name was Mahatabel, the daughter of Metred, the daughter of Me-Zavah. These are the names of the chieftains, descendants from Esau, according to their clans, places, and names. The chieftains of Timnah, Alvah, Yetat, Aholibamah, Elad, Penan, Kenaz, Tema, Vitzar, Magdiel, and Iram. These were the chieftains of Edom, according to their settlements in the land they owned. This is Edom, the father. This is Esau, the father of Edom.